This video explains how to append a new column to a pandas DataFrame using the Python programming language. So without too much talk, let's dive into the Python code. As a very first step, we need to import the pandas library, as you can see in the first line of code. And then we also need to create an example data frame using the data frame constructor. So after running these lines of code, a new data frame called data is created. And then I'm printing this new data frame below the code box using the print function. And below the code box, you can see that we have created a new data frame which contains 5 rows and the 3 columns x1, x2, and x3. In the next step, I'm also creating a new list object, which we will append as a new column to our data frame. And we can do that, as you can see in this line of code. So in this line of code, I'm creating a list object that contains 5 elements. It's important that the length of this list element is the same as the number of rows in our data frame. And I'm storing my list in a new data object that I'm calling new column. And then I'm once again using the print function to print the content of our new data object below the code box. So as you can see, we have created a list containing 5 list elements that contain different character strings. Now in the next step, I want to append this list as a new column to our already existing data frame. And we can do that by using the assign function, as you can see in the next line of code. So in this line of code, I'm specifying the name of our data frame, which is data. And then I'm using the assign function. And within the assign function, I specify that I want to create a new column, which is called new col. And this column should contain the values that are stored in our list new col. And then I'm storing the output of the assign function in a new data frame object that I'm calling data new1. And I'm using the print function to print this new data frame below the code box. So as you can see, after running these lines of code, our data frame is updated. So the first 3 columns, x1, x2, and x3, are exactly the same as in our input data frame. However, this time we have added a new column which is called new col, and this new column contains the values that have been stored in our list object. So in this first example, I have explained how to use the assign function to add a new column to a pandas data frame. However, it's also possible to use square brackets for this task, and this is what I want to show you in the next example in the 5th code box. So as a very first step, I'm creating a copy of our input data frame because I also want to keep an original version of our data frame. So after running this line of code, a new data frame called data new2 is created. And then in the next step, I'm creating a new column in this data frame that I'm calling new col. And to this column, I'm assigning the values in our list object new col. And then I'm printing our new data frame below the code box. So after running these lines of code, you can see that another data frame has been created, which contains exactly the same values as the data frame that we have created in example 1. However, this time we have used square brackets instead of the assign function. That's all I wanted to explain in this video. In case you want to learn more on this topic, you may check out my homepage, statisticsglobe.com, because on my homepage I have recently published a tutorial in which I'm explaining the content of this video in some more detail. I will put a link to this tutorial into the description of the video so you can find it there. If you have liked this video or if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below. I'll try to respond to all comments as soon as I can. Furthermore, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel to get notified about future video releases. I have already published about 500 videos on this channel and I'm releasing new videos on a daily basis. Thanks a lot for watching. See you in the next video.